Circle. Visit the sensory-friendly area and don't miss
the Drum Show finale.
Presented by WSIC News and sponsored in part by Howard Hanna, Allen Tate Real Estate, and ABS Kids. For more information, visit huntersville.org.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Well, good morning, all of you out there in Lake Norman. You are listening to WSIC's The Scoop. I am here with Firewire Dan, of course, and we're actually waiting on our first guest. They have quite a haul to get here. Bridgett Nesbitt, and who has been on the show with us before, and Brian Summers, who is a candidate for mayor of the city of Statesville. So. Later in the show, however, we have Mooresville Mayor Chris Carney, and might be expecting some fireworks on that one.
He is here for a reason.
Yep, he is here for a reason. And I will be looking forward to getting into that later and letting him discuss what he needs to get off his chest. Anyway, I want to say last night, we're gonna small talk just a little bit until our guests get here because I need to catch up with Dan. I went to Myrtle Maid.
Oh,
on Main Street.
We had them on last week.
Was it last week?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. For the Halloween set.
Oh yes. Yep.
Holy crap!
Hey, thanks for the invite, by the way.
Well, no, listen.
You know, you're
fairness,
dating now, and you don't talk to us
I
anymore.
am that.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I was actually helping them. I just threw myself in there to do it with a press release to get the information out. And I was like, I need a picture of one of your themed cocktails. So, yeah, I went there to get a picture of one of the themed cocktails that ended up being a mocktail. So don't feel too bad. Don't feel like you missed out on too much, except you definitely want to go and check out these decorations. It
sounded pretty cool with what he was describing
Slashers
last week.
at the Still, I think is what he called it. And
yep.
I mean, it's like the 80s, 90s iconic, haunted, or whatever you call those people. Jason and Freddy Krueger and Chucky. And I never watched those things, Dan. I don't watch scary stuff. It keeps me up at night.
Well, I can tell you as a kid, I always tried. And then I'd go, scared into my bedroom. And then about 3 a.m, I'd start screaming for my mom.
I was going to say, did you ever have a problem like where you couldn't get up again? Like, because I'll freak out as an adult.
I would sit
even
in bed scared.
Cannot go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yes, I definitely have been there. And so, but I was telling my boyfriend the other day, I said, growing up, I mean, my girlfriends would get together, they would have a slumber party or whatever, and that's what they wanted to do. So you learned just to kind of, I don't know, tune it out. But 2 girlfriends of mine now, as I'm an adult, have a picture, and he was saying that he ran across it on Facebook, and I was watching, I think was it the Bird Box that had Sandra Bullock in it? It really wasn't that scary.
It wasn't scary.
Oh.
But they made it sound like it was going to be this incredibly scary movie.
I almost peed my pants. And I've got this picture, and I was wearing a hoodie shirt, and I had the strings pulled to where I just had this hole like this where every once in a while I could look and then not look. I am such a scaredy cat when it comes to that stuff.
So we got, I don't know. Can we go to break now real fast, and then we can move into the next segment? Okay. All right. I didn't know how that worked. Thank you for letting me know in my ear. Appreciate that. Our guest is here. They're making their way upstairs, so we were just I was going to try to get him in there. Not a problem. But so anyways, we have Bridgett coming in with Brian Summers. As everybody should know, Brian Summers, if you live in the Statesville area, is running for mayor of the city, and he's one of a couple candidates. And he's got some stuff he's going to tell us today. So let's.
Yeah, I'll be excited to find out because I don't follow Statesville politics anywhere near
what we do in Mooresville and the south side here. Yeah. And county politics.
Yeah. I try to stay away from that. I've always said that I kind of keep that away with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
Or I try. So we're excited to see what's going on. And I think that Bridgett has extended an invitation for other mayoral candidates to come in. So that could be coming down. I don't know, next show. It just depends on when. Bridgett has been a regular. I guess she's been on one time.
One
before.
time. This is her second time. Yep.
And so, yeah, she will be here shortly. We're going to wrap and get her in and comfortable, and we will talk to you then.
Investigative, uncompromising, unafraid. We'll be right back with The Scoop, hosted by Jaime Gatton, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, a cooler day as we finish out the work week. Plenty of sunshine, though, and mid-70s for our Friday to enjoy. We'll drop back overnight into the low 50s, so a cool start to our Saturday, but we should get back up to around 80 for the afternoon. A few extra clouds and the low chance of a passing shower on Sunday. Not everybody gets one of those. We're cooler, low 70s to finish out the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Ready to take control of your weight with real medical support? At Renew Specialty Group, we offer semaglutide, tirzepatide, and now retatrutide with complimentary consultations, personalized plans, and real results. Visit RenewHealthWellnessNC.com. Your transformation starts here.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. The 500 Club in Statesville is having their Thirsty Thursdays tournament on October 16th. Visit the 500 Club online for more information on tee times, memberships, and club events. Monday, October 20th is Potter and Potions Night at 158 on Main in Mooresville. Wizards, witches, and muggles unite to raise money for the National Kidney Foundation. Doors open at 5 p.m. with the fun beginning at 6:30 for this 18 and over event. Help the National Kidney Foundation, October 20th at 158 on Main. It's almost time for Halloween in Huntersville. Join us Sunday, October 26th for an evening of family fun from 4 to 7 p.m. There's a big surprise finale at 7 when we light up the night sky. Admission, parking, and activities are all free. Halloween in Huntersville is presented by WSIC, Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate, and ABS Kids. On Halloween night, WSIC is bringing the Rocky Horror Picture Show to the Charles Mack Citizen Center in Mooresville. The VIP experience begins at 6 p.m. with showtime at 8. Tickets are on sale right now at WSICnews.com. The Dirt Track at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents the World Short Track Championships October 31st and November 1st. And then the World of Outlaws World Finals are November 5th through the 8th. Click on charlottemotorspeedway.com for more information.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 23rd. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Romance in the Highlands. Golden leaves, cool evenings, and a fireside suite made for two. Meadowbrook Inn is your private retreat in charming Blowing Rock. Escape together this fall. Reserve your romantic getaway today at meadowbrook-inn.com.
Hard questions, real answers. The Scoop continues with Jaime Gatton. WSIC, local starts here.
Welcome back to The Scoop on WSIC. We have our guests here, our first ones. Miss Bridgett Nesbitt is back with us, and Brian Summers, and I've already explained who he is. I don't think that he probably needs many introductions. So we have about 15 minutes to talk to the two of you, so I am going to shut up, and I'm going to let you guys talk about Statesville a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you for having us on. I'm coming on to talk about the election. Of course, I have Brian with me, but he's not the only one we're going to invite. I reached out to Kim Watson, had a couple questions for her, and she said that I can call her and maybe set something up. Can also reach out to Morgan and Hendricks because I did interview them prior to this. Well, just wanted, since early voting has started, wanted everybody to get a good gist of what.
And these are the mayoral candidates,
yes,
right?
ma'am.
Got
What
you.
they bring to the table. Yep.
Perfect.
So I'll segue to Brian because he has some good news, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning. Nice to meet you, Dan.
Yep, you too.
Firewire, man.
Yes.
And good to see you again. Absolutely. So, Statesville's where everything is happening at. I know we're down here in Cornelius. Yes, I feel at home here at WSIC. Absolutely. Most open ground. But yeah, Statesville is where everything is happening at. It is truly the crossroads of the future. Not looking back, looking forward. And I'm pretty excited. Early voting started yesterday. We had 157 people vote in Statesville yesterday for the early voting, which I felt my history has been, it's a little low than what it was, but the hours also changed as well, too. They started 8 in the morning and ended at 5.
What was it previously?
It went from 7:30 to 7:30.
Oh, okay.
And it went on. You had Saturday voting as well, too. Now, you still have next Saturday, but not tomorrow. And so that just was a little bit of a downer to a degree because I thought when the working people, the guy who punched the clock, he gets off work and needs to go vote, he should have that opportunity. So, but on the upswing of things, the campaign's going well, knocking on lots of doors and meeting people just where they are. And just listening to them about, we haven't had a new mayor in Statesville in 20 years. So you're having to kind of re-educate about the role of the mayor, the responsibilities of the mayor, what the mayor can do and what he can't. And we have a very capable city manager who runs the city on a day-to-day basis, just by way of our charter. And then you have 8 members who are the policy elected members of council. They set the policy. And so the mayor, in my estimation, is really a huge advocate for everything. It's all the things. I mean, I'm very passionate about reading and literacy, education, veterans affairs, as well as families of kids with special needs, to be an advocate for that in so many ways. And then just a cheerleader. Driving down here, I was saying to someone about, I would love to work with the real estate industry, that every new home that's sold in Statesville, they get a welcome letter from the mayor. I mean, I know it's a symbolic thing, but I just think that is constituent services is in my blood. That's what I know how to do. And it's just...
It's customer service, right?
Yeah, it's very much in every way. And so, blame it from the days of Jesse Helms. He's the one that said the first thing you do is learn to answer the phone and get the address right. And then you make whatever their concern is, you make that right. And so, but yeah, so do have a really good announcement this morning. Just that's huge to me. I did have a previous endorsement when I was here 3 years ago and ran for mayor from Cindy Haynes, who was formerly on the school board. But this morning, about an hour ago, I secured the endorsement of longtime Statesville City Council member and County Commissioner who is retiring this year, Steve Johnson.
Oh, very
his
nice.
full endorsement, and he wrote some really good stuff. And so I was like, man, wow, okay, Steve. So that's pretty good for me. I would say, even though my friend Mike Huckabee said, let me know what I need to do, Steve's is better than his. I'll just say he's overseas.
On the local level, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, he's the ambassador over in Israel right now, so his plate's pretty fat. But I did reach out to him like 2 months ago, and they know what was going on. He said, send it a hug pack, Brian. We'll get you going. So, but that's it. I mean, and I think that Steve, long time respected, high ethical, very, very straightforward. No lean left in his body at all. Family man, 2 granddaughters. And so what he's always told me has always been true. What he's always shared with me was always sound advice. I trust him, and I've known him since I was 18 when I got in this party.
Yep.
He was just like, I remember when you joined and came to one of those meetings, and I was like, yeah, where you live? Statesville. So it was like, he was a county commissioner then. And so just a lot of respect and reverence for him, and thank him so much for his service. We haven't always gotten things right in Statesville, but when he managed to have his thumb in and was on it, we kept, some common sense that we didn't go off the rails in the city of Statesville.
Where do you think, what area does Statesville, do you feel like needs work the most?
Well, right now, if you drove through Statesville, you'd think are all downtown because all our streets are tore up. So,
your town too, huh?
Yeah.
I was going to say, well, that sounds familiar.
So, it's like, when I was in college, there was still that local sign that says detour and put it in your apartment.
Yeah.
You can get them on any corner now. So that's a challenge. And I think that maybe we'd have had some more proper city planning and not had did them all at the same time and not around a time where we have the Bloom Fest coming to Statesville.
That is coming this weekend, right?
Right.
Yep.
So those are things that just kind of have to consider, and also voting. Because where the Board of Elections in downtown Statesville is, that Stockton Street is all torn up. Gotcha. And so it's those kinds of things of let's look at dates, let's look at what are the priorities and what's going on and how we better communicate. I am very big on this. I'd love to be able to sit in a room with Beth and the commissioners, the council members, the mayor of Harmony, Mayor Carney down here from Mooresville, and Troutman, and have us all in a room and just say, what are we doing right? What are we doing? Let them tell us, and what can we do to work better together? And not be one up on the other. It's just like, hey, how can we have the best governance to, the less money and the less deregulation that we can to make sure that we take care of the people that really matter, our fire, EMS, rescue, those essential services. What can we do to help you guys? And you all maybe help us as well, too. I think the communication, I would rather do that. I want to do that at least 4 times a year and then expand it to Vicky and Jeff and Mitchell Setzer as well, too. Because I think if we all have that, everything comes from Raleigh to a degree, and then we go ahead and talk to Pat Harrigan, who's up in D.C. I think if we're all on the same page and we all have that good open communication, it makes life so much better for the things that we do. Absolutely. I'm a talker, but I know how to build bridges. And so that is, just from the time in D.C., when you're just a staffer, you just spend all your time doing all of the crazy grunt work. So.
If people don't know, you did work in D.C. for quite a few years.
31 years. Yeah.
And didn't you work something with the Bush administration too?
Yes, I was a staff assistant. I was a staff assistant for George W. Bush.
So you worked at the White House then?
The White House, but next door in the old executive office building. Okay. My grandmother would tell everybody I work in the White House, and I would have to let her know, Granny, you're not going to find your son over there. I'm next door in that other big treasury building that was built by Andrew Jackson. That's where I am. That's where the other 3,000 who are not in the executive branch, that's where they are. Gotcha. But I was on the Domestic Policy Council, worked under Carl Rove with about 35 other gentlemen, my colleagues, and our sole role with that was domestic policy was just pushing the president's agenda through all the states. And we had regions of the country that we worked in, and that was my sole role. People always said, what'd you do there? I was just a staffer. I didn't have a card or anything. All you had was your White House ID to go through and scan them, and that was it. So, but it was a chance of a lifetime being from South Statesville to get that letter, and you're a Class D appointee. So that's just, I still got that framed, and I was like, man, they hadn't had direct deposit then, so I still got a check at that time. Aww. So it's pretty cool.
Well, we are so glad to have you, and I appreciate you making the drive to Cornelius.
Oh, yeah.
And I know, Bridgett, you've got about 5 minutes to catch us up on what you're working on after this, because I know you're planning on bringing other candidates in. So talk to us. I know there's one thing in particular that you wanted to talk about, so let's get going.
Okay. Well, I wanted to be smooth with this one because it's going to end up, if I'm going to talk to her, I want her to engage with me the right way. I don't want her to shut down. So I had some questions of Kim per some information that I received in regards to spending. She may be able to shore those up. I do not know for certain, but it's definitely something that's going to be a huge amount of tidbit for us in the coming days because I'm going to get on the horn with her as soon as we get back to Statesville. I don't want to change the subject, but I do want to make an announcement about what I'm getting ready to do. This November, we're going to come out with, I think I've already told you, it's with ICTV. We're going to come out with that magazine talking about with the question, will Black history survive Iredell County's growth? So that's one of the things that I'm going to want to have out there for everybody to know. But yes, I'm going to reach out to every candidate. I have only focused on the mayors, and I did do Doris because I too am from South Statesville, so I wanted to get the feedback on what she's going to do about the growth. But I will make sure that I reach out to all of the candidates to give them the opportunity to come on if they want to and express their platform, their passion for Statesville as a whole, and what they think they bring to the table.
I thought about you the other day because I drove past. I was in Statesville or on the interstate, and I drove past what you were talking about. The rack room shoes was still there.
She said they're staying.
But what's crazy is I have not been through Statesville in so long. And I mean, it was like the apocalypse or something.
Something blew up over there, right?
Crazy.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So what exactly is going on? What did you say? Do you have any more about like the mall area that y'all know?
Wish I did. He may know more than I do, but do you know something?
Not about anything late breaking out. In fact, there's time for some things to happen change-wise.
Oh, definitely.
And I think that, a lot of people, and that's why I tell people, you can't overpromise and underdeliver. You don't have a deal yet for a Target. You don't have a deal yet for, say, Nordstrom's Rack. You don't have a deal for any of these concrete stores that you're telling the public are coming here. You don't have a signed deal. Retail hadn't been sold yet. You haven't worked out the lease space. So you can tear down what you have there, but you also have to build something back up and then sell it. So let's not get way too far ahead of that. But they want to bring retail there. It's up to city and business to go out and recruit that retail and be able to sit in a room and bring that retail in and do it for the best of what it's going to be in the interest of Statesville. We've got selling points because they redid 77 not too long. We got 40 just up the road. So it's not going to be a huge logistics problem with that. We can get the trucks in, the merchandise in, and the logistics will be a boom for that area because that's in Ward 2, sort of. And that'll be a boom in itself.
Shopping.
Brian, talk to us a little bit. I mean, my side of the business is the fire departments. I mean, that's primarily what I concentrate on. Tell me about a little bit about Statesville Fire and the way that they're expanding. We have new Firehouse 5 that's already in the works. I saw a map the other day put out by the fire department of Station 6 and a future Station 7. Can you talk about any of these?
I think that someone stopped me who was very in tune to the community and talked to me about some concerns with the fire department. And when we first had opened up the conversation, I was thinking that she was talking about equipment concerns, not being able to afford. She said it's affordability of staff, that you're going to need all these staff firefighters, and we may not have the money for it. So I was saying to her that, I'd rather, maybe have some extra training and double up in some fireplaces, maybe give guys, instead of 3 days, 3 12s and then off, maybe have 2 12s. They get a little more family time at home because you've got more bodies in one station till you get the other stations appropriated all the way around. And then know what you got coming in your fire academy. So if you know your capacity as far as academy, what is it going to take the 6 to 8 weeks to go through that in Statesville? How
does Statesville compete with a Mooresville or a Charlotte, a Kannapolis, a Concord, who are at a higher rate of pay than the city?
I'm a local boy, and I believe in really just pushing for local. I think that, and very supportive of the fire department. I think Chief Curfew, since I've been back home the last 4 years, has done a wonderful job there at the fire department. I think that we can't compete with Charlotte's money, but we can surely compete with offering other incentives to, if you live in the city of Statesville, maybe a little more quicker, maybe something, we can do a first responders where we can give an incentive for that because of what you're giving to the city. Why not do that? I mean, we give incentives when it comes to industry coming here, and we have a CATS program in our Statesville school system where they have a fire academy. That is a huge sell in which there have been students who've been recruited to Salisbury, Concord out of our fire academy. And that to me is just awesome.
Yeah, keep them here,
Absolutely.
So, well, Brian, we thank you for coming in today. You are a person who I respect, and I sincerely hope that things go well for you during the election this year. And we look forward to hearing more from you and your office in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you. And anytime you guys want to come up or say come down here, half a cup will travel. So, I'll go anywhere, and so I'm a talker. But one thing is for sure with the mayor, the role of the mayor for me is to be out of that building and be in the community. There are 6 wards in the city of Statesville. I'd like to take the mayor's office to each one of them and just listen to the constituents, listen to them.
All right. We'll be back.
Good deal. Thanks a lot.
Well, a cooler day as we finish out the work week. Plenty of sunshine, though, and mid-70s for our Friday to enjoy. We'll drop back overnight into the low 50s, so a cool start to our Saturday, but we should get back up to around 80 for the afternoon. A few extra clouds and the low chance of a passing shower on Sunday. Not everybody gets one of those. We're cooler, low 70s to finish out the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Kick cakes and cookies, toys and gifts.
The Southern Christmas Show, November 13th through 23rd at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Save on tickets at southernChristmasShow.com, courtesy of Kraft Body Scan.
The Southern Christmas Show.
Hi, this is Bob McIntosh with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Since 1997, we have been committed to providing our clients with competent, caring, and experienced legal services. Learn more at McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Harrison's is the home of Work Western, and wow! For nearly 30 years, our family has been boots on the ground when it comes to work. We have the largest selection of in-stock boots in the Carolinas and the best workwear brands like Harriet, Carhartt, and Wrangler. Find us on Norman Station Boulevard in Mooresville.
Jay White here from Centralina Realty. At Centralina Realty, we believe it's all about you. If it's time to sell your home, don't go it alone. Put the team here at Centralina Realty to work for you. Go to CentralinaRealty.com and let's get started.
Harness the healing power of horses. With the amazing staff at Willow Equine in Mooresville, we create a supportive environment conducive to healing and growth, dedicated to self-discovery and overcoming adversity. There's a program for you at willowequine.com.
Struggling with focus, memory, or mental clarity? Royer Neuroscience offers personalized, remote brain training designed to improve your cognitive health. Anywhere, anytime, you can boost focus, enhance mental performance, and thrive emotionally and physically. Visit RoyerNeuroscience.com and reclaim your brain today.
Need a ride? iCats has you covered. Tuesdays to the VA in Salisbury, Thursday to Winston-Salem, and Fridays to Hickory. Plus, run errands every day around Iredell County for just $1. Visit rideicats.com.
Welcome to a Bible Minute with Pastor Randy Mitchell from Temple Baptist Church in Statesville.
The Bible says in 1 John chapter 2, verse number 15, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him." Folks, when God talks about loving the world is not just the breaking of the Ten Commandments. The world is a system, and the worldly system is orchestrated by Satan. It feeds off of our fleshly, sinful nature, and it's everything about us that wants to influence us and affect our life toward things that dishonor God. The next verse talks about the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life. These are all the things, the categories of the love of the world. But obviously, a relationship with God is a love relationship. We have to make a choice. You can love the world or you can love God, but you can't do both.
Thanks for listening to a Bible Minute with Pastor Randy Mitchell here on WSIC.
Hello everyone, this is Joshua Doby, president of North Main Financial Group. At North Main Financial Group, we move to where you need us: investment management, insurance planning, and estate strategies. No two people are the same, so we customize our planning based upon your needs. Reach out to us at northmainfinancial.com. That's northmainfinancial.com.
Don't miss a thing. Download the WSIC News app today. WSIC. Local starts here.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Could see another volatile day on Wall Street after worries about regional banks' loans weighed on stock yesterday. But we do have some banks out with better than expected results today. Also, American Express reporting earnings that beat expectations after unveiling that refreshed Platinum credit card. Amex describes it as the strongest ever start to a card refresh. U.S. auto delinquencies 50% higher than they were 15 years ago, driven by soaring car prices and rising interest rates, according to Vantage Score. The average monthly payment on a new car, $767, and 1 in 5 borrowers pay more than $8,000 a month. And Apple entering a 5-year partnership with Formula One to give Apple TV exclusive broadcast rights for races in the U.S. starting next year. It'll deliver coverage of all practice, qualifying, sprint sessions, and Grand Prix to subscribers. Apple, by the way, set to stream that Brad Pitt film, F1 the movie, starting mid-December. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
The button pushing stops here.
WSIC. Local starts here. Hard questions, real answers. The Scoop continues with Jaime Gatton. WSIC. Local starts here.
All right, Dan, we are back on WSIC, and we are here with Mayor Carney. Before we turn the mic over to him, I just want to go over something real fast. Highway 150 in Mooresville is currently shut down. I think we're up to number 4 or 5 on gas leaks this morning of gas lines being struck by construction crews. And this is another one. As Battalion 1 said on the air, this was an impressive gas leak. When he arrived on scene first, it was blowing into the air, and it was an 8-inch main, and Highway 150 is going to be shut down. Also, last night we had a serious accident on 77 at the 48-49 marker in Statesville. Unfortunately, a female was severely burned and was flown to Baptist. So prayers are with her and her family, and a couple of deceased animals in the vehicle as well.
Oh, I saw that. That was awful.
Yeah. So just wanted to let everybody know about 150 who's currently listening, not to go down 150 today near Randy Marion's. All right, and no more ado. Chris Carney, Mayor of Mooresville.
Appreciate
Good morning,
it,
sir.
brother. Yeah, thank you for having me. I'll tell you, this is actually the second time they've had to evacuate Randy Marion. So I'm sure when I get out of here, I'm going to have some apologies to make.
Yeah.
This 150 is a big project, and I'm glad you brought it up. Everybody a lot of times likes to give the town a hard time, and it's a state project. They went out into bid, and the company, and I think that it's certainly had its hiccups, and the hard part is it's such a main artery of traffic through Mooresville that every time they do something like that, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal, yeah.
The citizens, I don't blame you. You're frustrated, I believe you, and I'm frustrated too. And it's the problem is it's hard to move around Mooresville without using 150.
Yep.
So it's going to be a long day today.
Yep.
When I get here,
sure.
I'm going to go up there and stand there and stare at some guy in a gas truck.
Well, and I think, and Brian was just talking about it in the previous segment. It's sort of like all the and people we've complained about about traffic congestion, but now we've got the road work happening. It just so happens that it's all happening at the same.
Well, and
at the
that's
same
what
time.
happens. People don't realize. We're talking about things like the Timber Road extension. That's been on the request since like the 90s.
Yeah.
150 should have been started about 12 or 14 years
kept
ago.
getting pushed back, right?
Yep. And we had the same problem when we did Brawley, and Brawley took forever. And I tell people all the time, Brawley was a mess when we fixed it back in 2006,
Before
7.
my time.
Yeah, we did that, but we went from where we were literally having you couldn't move to now we write speeding tickets out there. So it's pretty amazing what's happened over there. But but I appreciate y'all having me. And the reason why I want to come on, I think it's important. People I think they don't realize that so often when you're elected office, everybody, you got all these people in your ear trying to tell you how you should conduct yourself and what you should do. And as I was joking with y'all on the thing, even my wife who thinks that, sometimes you just, the idea, and Jamie, you know this better than probably anybody, you've heard them. It's always just wait up 48 hours, let the new news cycle kick in. And so as a politicians, which I hate that word, but,
Public officials.
well, I'd say we're public servants,
Yeah.
And but what happens is, you get all these competing things in your head about what you're supposed to do, and then you in turn sit down and you just lay down and you take the beatings because of it. And dude, I'll be fair, man. I'm here because I'm not doing that. I refuse to.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. At the end of the day, man, people may
You
not.
ready to say enough is enough?
Yeah, it's one of these situations of like when you sit down and people and I've taught my kids their whole life, it's bad enough to be a liar. It's a fool who repeats a lie, right? And this whole thing about that I was pulled over, it's just a lie. It never happened, And the fact that we have a disgruntled employee, y'all have covered. I'm not going to mention his name. Actually, I liked him. I'll be fair. I probably hugged him 1,000 times in his
said
life.
The same thing.
Yeah, I don't have any
was
problem.
completely shocked by
Yeah,
this.
and to this day, I don't really know where he and I have gone awry. I think I defended him probably right till the 11th hour of this whole situation. But at the end of the day, you can't take somebody, and this is all public record. You can't take somebody out on the lake and hold them on your boat and threaten not to let them off until they don't make you pay for your repairs and then call and threaten to, have them arrested by your guys. I mean, and people are picking on my chief and saying, oh, he's this guy. No, Chief Camperchine did the right thing at the end of the day. And even if maybe in the beginning I wasn't sure, now that's all come out, he's not going to put up with that. Good for him. And as the citizens, you shouldn't want him to put up with it.
I was going to say, because really, whenever you're looking at the big picture, to threaten that you're going to have a Mooresville cop pull somebody over for really no good reason. It's a black eye on the whole department.
And honestly, we're not going to tolerate that, right? I don't care how much I like the person. We're not going to, that whole, what do they call it, the blue wall. We're not doing that. We're not doing it.
The thin blue line.
We're not doing that. Yeah. And honestly, that's all one thing. And when you go through the facts, I mean, this person's been served with paperwork that
essentially arrested on paper.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is the whistleblower, and he's upset because he wasn't allowed to retire when he wanted to retire. Because guess what? We were getting ready to do a pay study. We did a pay study, and he was getting ready to have a massive bump that he was then going to retire on. So he's upset because he didn't get his bump in pay before he retired. And so I read something the other day, and a lot of people have actually been pretty sensible about this and seen it kind of for the hack it was. But when you sit back and you go, why in the world has the FOP stood beside me all the time? Because
they just endorsed you,
they
right?
did. Because you go walk up to a police officer in Mooresville and ask them what they think of their mayor. And you know what they'll tell you? They love what we've done for them. Not just me, but our board. They've never been paid more. They've never had better benefits. And it's the same thing as for our fire. These guys, we have doubled down on making sure we take them. And I'm not going to let some attorney representing a bad actor accuse me of calling police officers liars. No, I called a police officer a liar. One. And guess what?
He is.
The public record has shown he is a liar. And the great news is, guess what? We have a whole report, y'all. We don't take any of this stuff laying back. I stepped back. I encouraged the town to, when it was first made by my opponent, who I kicked the ever-living hell out of 70-30, who was upset about it and accused me of this event. And let's put it back. All I did was wave the police chief over so I could give him a hug on the corner and laugh with him. And the funny part is the night that this whole thing happened, this person was with us, along with the DA, the assistant DAs, half the police force for the Iredell County, half the lawyers, we literally were with 45 or 50 people that were associated with law enforcement.
Yep.
And when they all put that together, do you know what this whistleblower said? Oh, I would never have said if I realized it was that night. Because he can't deny the fact he was sitting there with us. So it's this whole idea that I pulled over. And the funny part, and you guys have heard me say this, I think, Jamie, I joked with you the next day. Hell, I thought I was going to get shot because I was hugging the chief when one of the police officers pulled by. I thought maybe I was mugging him or something, So I hugged the chief, and I've had to defend. And for the people, listen, this happened January 30th of 2024.
When? Okay.
I hugged a police chief on the side of the road to tell him he was turning right.
2 years ago, and now we're making a story.
He's turning right. I'm going straight. So I wave him over after this event, and for nothing else, just to talk about, laugh and go, hey, man, who'd ever thought we could have got all those people in one room? I mean, we had defense attorneys and district attorneys and everybody in the world you could ever imagine that would never hang out together all at this fundraiser for the district attorney, who I love, Sarah Kirkman. I think she does a fantastic job. And anytime I can support her, I'm going to. And we laughed that, somebody else had made the comment, well, how do we even know he's here? Are you kidding me? I was the one that threw the whole event, right? And it's just gotten to be this, y'all, do a little homework before you just read a hack job about a disgruntled guy who literally is got his own mess that he is trying to figure out how to struggle. And instead of him being a big boy and taking whatever he's got coming his way, he's trying to leverage beating up my reputation.
Well,
and dude, I'm not going to sit back and take that.
How long did it take after the event until he, quote unquote, blew the whistle?
The day after he was served his paperwork that he was in trouble.
So he was in trouble.
And we will be right back on WSIC.
Investigative, uncompromising, unafraid. We'll be right back with The Scoop, hosted by Jaime Gatton, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, a cooler day as we finish out the work week. Plenty of sunshine, though, and mid-70s for our Friday to enjoy. We'll drop back overnight into the low 50s, so a cool start to our Saturday, but we should get back up to around 80 for the afternoon. A few extra clouds and the low chance of a passing shower on Sunday. Not everybody gets one of those. We're cooler, low 70s to finish out the weekend. That's your forecast. From the WSIC Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. The 500 Club in Statesville is having their Thirsty Thursdays tournament on October 16th. Visit the 500 Club online for more information on tee times, memberships, and club events. Monday, October 20th is Potter and Potions Night at 158 on Main in Mooresville. Wizards, witches, and muggles unite to raise money for the National Kidney Foundation. Doors open at 5 p.m. with the fun beginning at 6:30 for this 18 and over event. Help the National Kidney Foundation, October 20th at 158 on Main. It's almost time for Halloween in Huntersville. Join us Sunday, October 26th for an evening of family fun from 4 to 7 p.m. There's a big surprise finale at 7 when we light up the night sky. Admission, parking, and activities are all free. Halloween in Huntersville is presented by WSIC, Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate, and ABS Kids. On Halloween night, WSIC is bringing the Rocky Horror Picture Show to the Charles Mack Citizen Center in Mooresville. The VIP experience begins at 6 p.m. with showtime at 8. Tickets are on sale right now at WSICnews.com. The Dirt Track at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents the World Short Track Championships October 31st and November 1st. And then the World of Outlaws World Finals are November 5th through the 8th. Click on charlottemotorspeedway.com for more information.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 23rd. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Looking to sell or buy in Huntersville or Lake Norman?
Hi, I'm Jeff Sny, owner and managing broker of Blue Oak Realty Group. Here's the truth. Your needs don't pause for the market. Whether you need more space, less space, or just the right fit, I'll help you create a smart strategy that makes sense for your family and your goals. With over a decade of experience right here in Lake Norman, I know this community, and I treat every client's goals like my own.
Call Jeff today or visit BlueOakRealtyGroup.com. Outstanding service, smart moves. That's Blue Oak Realty Group.
N110, upscale and elegant, but never pretentious. Over 500 whiskeys, 100 wines, craft cocktails, and crave-worthy small bites. Live music plus monthly comedy nights and tastings. Post your next event at N110, located at 19712 1 Norman Boulevard in Cornelius.
Hard questions, real answers. The Scoop continues with Jaime Gatton. WSIC, local starts here.
All right, we are back with Mayor Chris Carney, myself, Firewire Dan, and Jaime Gatton with the Mooresville Scoop. We left the last segment talking about some stuff with the mayor that's been brought up publicly with WBTV and some other outlets.
Well, no, just one outlet.
Just one.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah. But there was a story that was run just, I think I saw it last night or the night before, and I sent it to Jaime. I go, you see this? And apparently you were run down by a reporter at a meeting, and you gave a quick little interview to him, and then that person then interviewed the police chief, and
who backed up everything I said. Right.
Exactly.
Not because we coordinated with each other. It was because it was just the truth.
Well, and we should add that also I think that the nut of the story was that the PBA, the Police Benevolent Association,
who's endorsed me in 2012, just FYI, yeah,
has asked for the state to look into.
Yeah, ask for the SBI. Yeah. But I saw the interview where they then interviewed the chief, and I learned something new that I didn't know prior. I knew that you guys, on the side of the road and talked, but when you signaled over for the police chief to talk, which happens all the time with public officials. A lot of public officials, including when I was on the road as a deputy, we pull over on the side of the road and we throw our rear blue lights on because we're on the side of the road.
We don't get hit by a car. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
When I was in the fire department, I throw my rear lights on. It's a common practice because if you're on the side of the road, you kind of have to, because if you get hit, they're going to say, well, why didn't you have your lights on?
Well, nobody knows first responders like the two of y'all. You know tons of them. Yep. Right. And personally, every single one of them will tell you, I do this all the time.
Oh my gosh, I laugh about it. I'm not going to name them. They're retired now. But there were times just to mess with me and make me laugh. I would get blue lights behind me in town. It's just, and it would make me laugh. It was so funny. I have one that every time he would pass my house, I'd get the whoop, like the little signal.
But you know this from knowing them. They will tell you. It's a common practice for me. I always want to ask them how they're doing, how's the day, what's going on. Is there something that we need to do? Why is traffic at this intersection suck so bad? Can we do something to get them to quit blocking the thing? And it's because I do believe the best information is closest to the source. So I want to ask the guy driving the fire truck about what's going on, or the guy that I ride around with the police a lot in the evenings just to get a general idea for what's going on in Mooresville. I always have. And so it's one of those situations is to say that I was over on the side of the road talking to a police officer happens every week. It just so happens, like we've joked before, that some guy wanted to try to make something of this for his own benefit because he was in trouble, right? Yep. And the funniest part is, I'll give you credit, Dan. When this first had come, even had been whispered, that you were the first one to call and go, "Hey, Chris, it took me 3 minutes to realize it's BS."
Yep.
Right. Iredell Free News same way, walked in and goes, "Hey man, it was nothing." And immediately people realized, who actually were journalists and took their job seriously, that it was somebody with an agenda. And the sad part is, even this news story, dropping it the night before early voting starts, there's an agenda there.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And this guy, I don't know if he just doesn't like the idea that I've been so hard on Charlotte about not letting them run up through the middle of Mooresville, or the fact that I openly talk about how we keep arresting their people that come up here. And instead of us having these conversations, think about this. We're not talking about the fact that 5,000 apartments were approved before I got into office and 0 approved last year. We're not talking about the fact that our police and fire are at the highest pay they've ever gotten and best benefits we've ever gotten. We're not talking about the fact that we're at the lowest amount of houses per acre in the history of Mooresville being approved, right? We're not talking about all these things. We're not talking about the fact that Luke Combs was in downtown Mooresville yesterday playing and receiving an award for going to the Hall of Fame.
And a shout out to David Childers, who is my son's idol.
He was there. Yeah. Literally, we have all these great things, and instead, we had a bad actor who's trying to avoid getting himself in trouble, thinking that he was going to try to run over my name. And like I said, I'm not going to put up with that, man. Yeah. And I'm not going to. And like I said, the final straw is when, this attorney tries to make it sound like I'm not supportive of police and fire. And you all both know this because of how close you are with first responders. That couldn't be the furthest. There's not a mayor in this country who supports police and fire more than I do. And I encourage everybody walking on the road, you go walk up to somebody and ask them. You walk up to a police officer and go, "What do you think you're mayor?" I got Charlotte officers walk up to me all the time and say, "Man, I wish our mayor liked us like you like yours." And it is that's the reason why I'm not here. I'm not going to get into the weeds of our employee is going to get his punishment the way he's going to get his punishment. He acted inappropriately, and the legal system's going to handle that, right? And I'm even, it pisses me off that he's, I've spent decades creating what I'd like to think is a good reputation for looking out for I love my community. I love it. And you know this, I work tirelessly to take care of my community.
I would call it tirelessly.
Yes. And I don't even worry about, this. I joke about it. It's up to me. We never put a plaque with my name on anything. I don't believe in that. But you know what? When I drive by something that I know I've made better, I get great pride in that. Whether it be a kid playing in a park, whether it be to your fact, as much as 150 is pissing us off today with the gas leaks, when that's finished, I am going to be proud of the fact that we were able to get all these roads fixed. And you can't get too caught up in the social media. People type in like, "Oh, how's it any better?" You're like, seriously? How are you driving through Mooresville today and not watching the fact that we are absolutely doubled down on infrastructure?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what in the world? I mean, and I get it. The average person, they don't pay attention to some of that stuff.
Hey, totally off subject. How much money did you put in your pocket from the proposed data center for Mooresville?
The one we turned down?
The one you turned down, yeah.
I didn't get one First of all, I didn't get personally a dime, and I didn't receive not one campaign donation from anybody involved in it.
Because I tell you, that's all I read.
Oh,
Mayor
my
Carney,
God.
lining his pocket.
Yeah, to turn it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for the record, people don't pay you money to turn down their project, right? And but yeah, I mean, people are just frustrated with government from top to bottom, and I can, like I said, I can live with that. Where this line got crossed is when somebody tried to insinuate that I don't support our police, and the data is just not there.
That did trip the trigger.
That's all right. And y'all, every time I do these shows, I'm a pretty happy guy. This line's been crossed, and to say I'm pissed off is probably
bit of an understatement.
Yeah, I'm not going to have that. That's why I have to set the record straight.
Yep.
We got a bad actor, and we got somebody who thinks that they're going to make a reputation for themselves reporting on a bad actor, taking his word over the truth, and then to throw out there the fact that we're I called police liars. No, I called a police officer a liar, and the data shows it.
Shows that.
Yeah, go to the court record. It's there, right?
And because of that, Mayor, Iredell Firewire, which I started and I still run today, we're at 88,000 or close to 88,000 followers,
huge,
thousands of subscribers. And, you have been a truthful, honest person throughout this adversity that you are going through. You have invited me into your home and talked to me. The police chief has been wonderful and has nothing bad to say about you. And because of that, the Firewire and myself are going to fully endorse you for this round of mayor candidate for the town of Mooresville.
Oh, that means a lot to me.
So
I appreciate that.
There's nothing. I don't think Mooresville can do any better than what we currently have with you as mayor.
I appreciate that. That means a lot to me, and you do. You got a lot. I tell you all the time. I get most of my information from my wife, who gets it from you. So people think the mayor's the most informed guy. No, the mayor's wife is typically the most informed person in town, and that I can't tell you how much that means to me because you take everything seriously, and I've always said the first thing you do is pick up the phone and you start actually calling around to figure out the truth, and then you tell the people the truth, and that's a big deal. I wish more people followed in your footsteps, and I go back to. There's nothing, even on this report that we had done about all this stuff. If it weren't in this guy's personnel file, I'd make that open for the public. I'd love the chief and I both would love
Can't they sign a waiver to get?
No, they're not going to do that.
But can't they?
They can, absolutely.
Well,
they can.
I mean, if they want this story to come out,
Hey,
sign the
listen,
waiver.
tell people all
sign
the
the
time.
waiver. We want to know.
Yeah, happy to, absolutely. I laugh when they did it, when they talked about it, and they realized how the last person to be interviewed was me because I stayed out of it. I don't want to put my finger on the scale in any way, so I let it. And we were laughing. The outside group that came in, the last thing he said to me is, "Man, I'm sorry, man. This was pretty stupid." And I said, "Well, I appreciate you doing your job and you're a small business. I guess you got a paycheck for doing it." So at the end of the day, like I said, the public needs to realize it did not happen. It did not happen. And I have never once said a negative word about police officers. But I will go after somebody who dares to try to get himself out of trouble by running over my reputation. I'm not going to have it. Yeah.
I don't blame you one at all. Mayor, we thank you for coming in today. This is going to wrap up our show today with Jaime Gatton, myself, and you. I hope everything goes well for you with the election here coming in the beginning of November, and we look forward to another couple of years with you at the helm.
Appreciate it, man.
Mooresville.
You got a lot to do, so.
Thank you, sir.
Pal. Appreciate
it.
you, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, keep Mooresville great.
Yes, sir.
See you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too, pal.
Serving you better than ever before. 105.9 100.7 WSIC, Statesville, Mooresville, North Charlotte.